Leilu is an initiative which is open to anyone young initially. That was the definition, between 15 and 30. Giving them a chance to learn about themselves first, learning about others in the sense that you need to cooperate. And the third level is really to learn about Luxembourgish society, things that are not necessarily available to anyone. So we wanted to open doors to contexts which are not necessarily open. We ended up using Leren in Letzteburgisch and Luxembourg, and that became Leilu in a sense. We designed 6 modules. Each one is interconnected to another one. In that sense, there are 2 modules which more deal with yourself. Then there is modules that more deal with you in the context of other people, like a group. Then there is the project Talent Finding, which is also for us more a project that deals with yourself, but in the context of where you are now, concretely, in a team, in a working environment. And then there are 2 modules which more deal with the outer world in Luxembourg. One that is on visual learning, because many people do not necessarily know how to read and write local language, if we can call it like that. And for this, we have the Centre National de l'Audiovisuel as a partner, because it's a huge documentation basis and it's actually free to access, and it gives people a chance to learn visually about where Luxembourg was and what Luxembourg is now. And then the last module is religious tolerance. And here the idea is that Luxembourg is a place where people are not driven by religion, but they live their religions if they feel like doing that, and if they don't do, that's fine too. So Leilu is officially open to anyone between 15 and 30 for the duration of the project. But then it turned out that amongst the refugee population, there were a lot of people who were eventually older or even younger who wanted to join the project, knowing that age is also very cultural. We welcome basically anyone who would sign up for the project and really participate, young or old. The project should not be limited to refugees, but it turned out that for local people between 15 and 30, there is quite some offer on the market. Whereas for the refugees, this is not necessarily true. So it turned out that we have way more demand amongst the refugees for the project than amongst the local population, which is sad, because the local population of those who participated, we all got a very positive feedback, so it's also of interest to them. There is a few modules which are likely to continue. For instance, the module that deals with internships, because it's a very tailor-made module, so for any refugee or for any participant, there's a specific setup, a specific place to be found to do an internship. So this should actually continue another year in order to really give people a chance to benefit from that module. It turned out that 1 year is just not enough. So when we designed the project, we couldn't know. We could not know how things would develop and evolve in Syria and in Iraq and in Afghanistan, for instance. So one of the things that happened to the project is affected, obviously, by people who get papers or not. The project overall, I would say, has perfectly worked well, even though a lot of the things that we had initially planned couldn't exactly take place as we had planned them. There are, given the context of the refugees, more male participants than female participants. We are a small institute and we only carry things that really make sense to us. So we had to adopt on the spot. But the project itself proved that it's really needed and that it really is beneficial to people. Most of the participants made contacts through the project, in meeting the coaches, in meeting other contexts, in going to places that otherwise they would not go. So I would really say it is worth the work we are investing.